Hello Heavy Metal Maidens and Masters, I'm Heavy Metal Momma and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going through my liquid lipstick collection as requested by you guys. But before we get to that, remember to like this video, comment down below if you want to discuss any of the things that come up in this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, it is so appreciated, and thank you to everybody who already does. Hit that notification bell so that you can find out whenever I upload, and welcome! So, my liquid lipstick collection as requested by you guys in my birthday haul video. And thank you to everybody who went down into the comments on my birthday haul video and whooped that troll's ass. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You made me feel so supported and loved, and it was just so lovely to see you all whoop his ass. Thank you. I have now blocked him from my channel, so he will no longer be making ridiculous, rude comments. But thank you to everybody who popped down there and added your 2 cents and made him feel about that big. But we're not going to discuss him anymore because he's not worth our time or our energy, and certainly not our pity. But on with the video. So you wanted to hear all about my liquid lipstick collection. Right, so about just over 2 years ago I discovered liquid to matte lipsticks. I had never worn lipstick before that because whether I've had my lip ring since I was 18, if I wore any lipstick, I ended up with a big line down my chin and it looked ridiculous. So I just didn't wear lipstick. Lots of eye makeup, no lipstick. And then I discovered liquid to matte lipstick and it was a revelation. So I went a bit mad and started buying loads. I originally bought Black Cat by Pretty Zombie Cosmetics, who are a little indie brand, because Dre Renane, I don't know if you know her, recommended them as her favourite her favourite lipstick brand, but she said it was her absolute favourite black lipstick. I toyed with getting some Black Moon Cosmetics, but they don't stock it here in the UK, and it would have cost a fortune to get it shipped in from America, and then I'd have had to pay import tax on top, and I just decided I would get something that was available in the UK, and I was, you know, umming and ahhing, and then Kate's Clothing started selling it, so, you know, it was like they knew. You know, I think I had emailed them quite a lot asking them to stock some sort of liquid lipstick, so I was really pleased. And then I got the bug and started buying loads of them. So the first ones that I bought were Black Cat, which is their black, and Dahlia, which is their dark maroon red. And then I bought lots more. So I'm going to take you through starting from the lightest shades to the darkest shades. But before I get to that, so when I am wearing liquid lipstick, I use some lip balm to moisturise my lips before. Well, I usually put that on as I'm starting to do my makeup, and I use Lush Whipstick, which is definitely my hands down my favourite lip balm. They've finally started stocking it in stores again. They were only selling it online for a while, and I kept having to order like 4 at a time because, you know, you lose them, don't you? And I couldn't go into a store and get them, but now they've started selling it in stores again, thank goodness. So I'm really pleased about that. And then to prime my lips, because I find some of these, certainly the black came off a bit if I didn't have a lip primer on. I was using the Urban Decay lip primer pencil, but I found you were wasting loads of it by sharpening it, and that really annoyed me. It was a good primer, it just really, I felt like I was literally throwing bits of it away by sharpening it. So I bought the MAC Prep and Prime lipstick primer, which is in a little tube that scrolls up and down, so you don't waste any of it, and that I have been using for months and months and months, and it's still going, and that does seem to really hold it on your mouth. Right, so the first lipstick. The first lipstick is Pretty Zombie Cosmetics Cameo. It is I would say a neutral toned nude. It's by far the easiest to wear. It's the most normal of all the colours. It definitely is, you know, you can wear that to work or something like that. It really just evens out the tone of your lips. It doesn't particularly give it a different colour. I find that it's just good for giving them an evenness. It's so easy to wear. It's definitely the colour that if my mum or my sister wanted one, that this would be something that they would go for. It smells of caramel. So far it hasn't separated. It is definitely what I would say is a medium textured liquid lipstick. It's not too thick, it's not too thin, it's just smack bang in the middle. It takes about a minute or so to dry down, maybe a little bit longer, but I would say it's an average time of dry down, and it doesn't creep up your face. So that is, if you get oily skin or you've got suntan lotion on your skin, it doesn't start to creep into the little crevices around your lips and creep up your face, which some of them I'm afraid do. But I find that I've just got oily skin, and that's, you know, the cross I bear. So the next one is Coffin. Coffin is definitely a more cool toned dusty brown shade. Again, it's very wearable. It smells again of caramel. So far it hasn't separated. It has again a medium texture. It dries down again at an average time, just over a minute or so. And again, it doesn't creep. It seems to stay on very well. It's again very easy, very wearable. It's definitely what I would say is an easy nude. Right, the next one is a terracotta, and it's called Candelabra. It's an orange tone, so a warm toned terracotta. It's definitely easier to wear than a red, but it's definitely thicker than the other two nudes. It smells of caramel again. I would say it's a medium to thick texture, which means that it has a longer dry down, and if you're not careful, it can creep. Not loads, but if I tend to put a little bit of eyeshadow primer just around the outside of my lips, and it definitely stops it creeping, just holds it all in there nicely. So this is the Jeffree Star RedRum liquid lip. It's definitely a more warm toned red. It's got almost an orange terracotta style base to it. It's definitely the most wearable of my reds. It's really easy for anybody to wear. The texture is slightly thinner than the Pretty Zombie Cosmetics ones, but I do find that it dries down very, very quickly. It depends what you're after in a red. I think this is definitely more wearable for the masses. I prefer my reds to have a little bit more darkness and depth to them. It stays on really well, and it doesn't creep, and it doesn't smell of anything. Right, in contrast, this is the Pretty Zombie Cosmetics Zombettie Red. They're a similar shade, but Zombettie is definitely got more darkness and depth. This is what people imagine blood looks like. It's not what blood looks like, I should know. But it's definitely what people envisage as a real scarlet blood red. It matches my hair beautifully. It's, again, doesn't really smell of anything. It doesn't separate, but it has a very thin texture. It's the thinnest of all the Pretty Zombie Cosmetics ones when it comes to texture. Sometimes you have to put a second coat on, and you do need to be careful that there's not too much excess on the brush when you put it on the dough foot when you put it on, because otherwise you can sort of push excess to the outside of your lips and end up with a weird line. It doesn't creep, it stays on really, really well, and it's got a very quick dry down. So this is probably the red that you will see me wearing the most. Right, the next one is Pretty Zombie Cosmetics Dahlia. Now, Dahlia is a really, really dark maroon red. It's very sultry and sexy. It's that sort of temptress red, I would say. It smells... doesn't really smell of anything, actually, but it has a mega thick texture. It's the thickest texture of all of them. And it dries down very slowly, very slowly. It takes a long time to get dry, and it does creep. So again, I put a bit of eyeshadow primer around my lips if I'm going to wear this. It's a beautiful shade. It does come off. If you're drinking out of a teacup, your teacup will be covered in lipstick. But it's such a beautiful shade. It really is. It's a real vampy red shade. I love it. Right, the next one is Witchcraft, which is a real Barbie hot pink. It's got a sort of silvery, almost hot pinky, almost blue glitter in it. It's a very, very bright pink. Where it has got the reflect in it, it dries down very quickly. All the ones that have got glitter in dry down very quickly. It smells of vanilla. It's very easy to apply. I would say it's medium texture. It's on the thick side, but it dries down very quickly, and it definitely doesn't creep, and it's very comfortable to wear. Then we have Morticia, which is a pinky purple shade. This is very, very wearable. It's a medium texture. It smells of caramel. It's a medium dry down, an average dry down time. It's quite thick, and it can creep, but nowhere near as bad as the Dahlia. So again, I just protect around the outside of my lips. But it's a beautiful purple shade, and I get a lot of compliments on that one. The next one is Dead Roses. Now, Dead Roses is essentially Morticia, but with a reflect in it. It's got a sort of goldy purpley reflect in it. It's a beautiful shade. This one smells like cookies and cream. It doesn't separate. It's got a medium to thick texture and it dries down very quickly. It stays on beautifully and it doesn't creep. This one, I get so many compliments on it. It gives your lips this sort of pearlescentness. It's beautiful, really, really beautiful shade. Love this one. Right, the next one is Alone, which is a Cadbury purple. It's almost got a green gold reflect in it. It's really unusual. Now this one smells of cookies and cream. It does separate a bit, so you have to give it a really good mix up when you're going to use it. This is mega thick to put on, but weirdly, when you put it on, it doesn't feel thick and goopy. It almost feels dry when you put it on. It dries down really quickly. I think, like I was saying, the solvent that they use in the sparkly ones, I think, means that they dry down very, very quickly. It stays on beautifully and it doesn't creep at all, which is just great. So again, I love this one. If you want a really mega dark purple, this is such a beautiful shade. Really, really gorgeous. Right, the next one is Crystal Ball. Now, Crystal Ball, I thought was just going to be a lighter purple, but it's almost blue. I get a lot of people saying, oh, you're wearing blue lipstick when I wear this. It's got a pinky blue reflect in it. Again, it smells of cookies and cream. It's got a thick texture, not quite as thick as Alone. It dries down very, very quickly and it doesn't creep. But I don't find myself wearing this one as much because where it's got a blue hue to it, it's just not my taste. So I tend to end up going for a different shade of purple, but I obviously have quite a few different shades of purple. The next one is a bit of a wild card. This is green. It's Potion. It's a crazy one. It's a jade green with a purpley silver reflect in it. This, again, smells of cookies and cream, and oh my word, does it separate. You have to give it one hell of a mix up, which means that the texture of it is incredibly thick. It dries down very, very quickly and it doesn't creep. It's awesome, it's really cool, but it's quite hard to wear in that it's such a weird colour, it being this reflective green, that it is quite difficult to pull off. It looks fantastic when I'm doing my evil Ariel cosplay, but it's not something I wear down to the supermarket particularly because it's a bit of an odd one to wear. The next one is Skeleton Key, which is a silvery, almost pinky reflected silver. Again, it smells of cookies and cream. This one does separate a little bit, not where it is anywhere near as much as Potion. The texture is thicker now. When I bought it, it was quite thin. Now I've had it a while, it's definitely thickened up. I found it quite difficult to wear on its own without anything underneath it because you could see the pink through of your lips and it looked a bit weird. It dries down very quickly and it stays on, it doesn't creep or anything like that, but I found it almost, when I bought it, it felt like a topper. Now you can definitely wear it on its own if you want to, but yeah, when I bought it I definitely felt it was more of a topper. Right, the next one is Tombstone, which is a real dark slate grey. It's much easier to wear than black actually because it's a bit less harsh somehow. Now this is I would say it's a warm grey. It smells of vanilla, but only just smells of anything. Now this, I broke the bevel on this when I bought it. I basically screwed the cap on too tight and then tried to unscrew it and broke the bevel around the top, which means that it is always slightly open to the air. I can't take it in my handbag because it leaks everywhere, but it is definitely an easier colour to wear than black, and it looks amazing with Skeleton Key over the top of it. It makes it look like a really dark, glittery grey. It reminds me of Binks, which is another colour that they do that I don't own because I just thought, well, why buy that one when it essentially looks like it's Tombstone with Skeleton Key over the top. So the last Pretty Zombie Cosmetics one that I have is Black Cat, which is, of course, they're black. Now, this is black, so it's not warm, it's not cool, it's black. It doesn't smell of anything. It doesn't separate. I've had this for ages and it's still going strong. There's loads in here. It's a medium to thick texture. It dries down very slowly, if to be honest, I'm not sure if it ever really completely dries, and therefore it creeps. And it does come off on your mugs, and it comes off if you kiss people, etc. But it is one hell of an impacting black. It is black as black as black. You don't need 2 coats. It's on, it's there, it's mega black. And I love it for that. It's really, really great black. Now the very last lipstick that I have is the Jeffree Star Weirdo, which is also a black. Now, Weirdo is easier to apply in that it's thinner, but that also means that sometimes I think you need to put 2 coats on. It definitely dries down. Well, it dries down, so, you know, but it dries down quite quickly in comparison to Black Cat. So it depends on whether you want black as black, but you don't mind it that it's never quite dry, or whether you want easy application and it's definitely dry. I mean, you still can't kiss people with the Weirdo on. You will still get black all over them, but it doesn't come off as badly on your teacup. So it depends what you're after, really, in a black lipstick. I like them both. I will be keeping them both. In fact, I'll be keeping them all. I love them all. So that was my liquid lipstick collection. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I would love to hear from you and to hear what you thought of all those different colours. Which was your favourite colour? Which was your least favourite colour? What do you look for in a liquid lipstick? And do you have any recommendations for me of any other brands other than Jeffree Star, Black Mint Cosmetics and Pretty Zombie Cosmetics? You know, especially indie brands. I love little indie brands. I love supporting smaller businesses. So let me know in the comments below what you think. I was also thinking about doing some cooking videos, some baking videos, that kind of thing. Let me know whether that is something that you would want to watch, and I will see whether people fancy that kind of thing. I'm not sure. This channel is very much sort of fashion and beauty and stuff, so I'm not sure whether anybody would be in the slightest bit interested in that, but I love baking and cooking, so let me know what you think. Remember to like this video, comment down below to discuss anything that came up in the video. If you're not already, please subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and remember people, stay heavy.